Good morning and welcome to Vlogmas day 9, 8. I don't even know what the day is. I'm so sorry. Whatever. Saturday, December 9th. Oh, 9th. Don't look at your day 9. Day 9. And day 9. So, it is Saturday. I will be hosting a Zoom for Flame and Fiber podcast, which I do once a month, and it'll be nice to get to visit with everybody, and knit and visit. I really like those moments where you can just pause and hang out with folks and let the stresses of life go away for a bit. It's kind of nice. So, let's just get into the Advents first. Show you what we got. And this is really nice, and it's the same yarn as these, so I don't know exactly what yarn this is because there's nothing in there that tells me what it is, but they feel very, no, this feels more like a alpaca. This might be alpaca, but these two feel the same, and I'm not quite sure what they are, but they're a 2-ply, and they're nice, and they're nice colors. So I suppose I could do squares. These two look really nice together, and these look nice together. So if I continue with the squares, I could do that, or I could use these two together. I don't think I would put that with that because that's more greeny, seafoamy color, and I definitely don't want these two together. But I might just not. I might save these and make like mittens with one, and with some of make mittens out of a couple of them and make socks or mittens. I don't know. Haven't decided. I might use them as minis to put on my sock tubes because I still have sock tubes from Lefty Knitter podcast. If you want sock tubes where all you have to do is add heels, toes, and cuffs, Aquila does a great job. I think also you can get them from Andy the Knitress. I think so. Why is it so hard for me to remember things? Anyway, I really, really like my sock tubes. I originally asked them to be 72 because I have a little bit of wide foot, but they're too big for me. So when I order again, it's going to have to be 64 because the 64 fits best. And the 64 works perfect for mitts, so for fingerless mitts. Well, while we're talking about that, maybe, do I have a sock tube handy? I don't think I do. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So we'll do helpful tips. Oh, I just did the one. Let's do the other one I forgot. Yes, it's a squirrel day. It's a massive squirrel day. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I feel like this could totally be a beautiful sweater all on its own, but so could the others. I mean, who wouldn't want a sweater out of that? I mean, it's so good. But yeah, I really like that. So we're currently on this color, and the next color is going to be this one, and then the next color will be this one, which has, it's hard to see. I'll try and show it slower. So the lighting isn't as good as I thought it would be, but this color has mostly like an off-white, maybe dusted a little bit beigey, no, not beigey, creamy, but it's mostly off-white. But it has speckles of blue and brown and green. It's pretty much it. Different shades of blue, a couple of greens, and some various shades of brown. But it's really pretty. And this one is the same kind of base color, but a little creamier, a little more beigey. I don't know what the right word is. This is more of an off-white. This is more of an ivory, I guess, maybe. I don't know. And this has lots of pinks in it, along with some blue, but the blue is more of an aqua or Caribbean blue, and then the greens go from like the aqua into almost a olivey green, and I love olive green. And then there looks to be either black or dark teal in it as well, whereas with the pinks and the greens. And there's a little tiny bit only on this one end that I could see that has purple in it. I don't think that's gonna come through, maybe not, but it's more colorful, less on the blue and greens, but it leans towards the pinks. And then this is the next one, which is even more creamier, but also more pink. And this only has pinks and browns and on a cream base. Very creamy, buttery, almost a butter background with pinks and browns speckles, which is lovely. So going to be interesting to see what comes up next. I'll probably wind these today. I know I am not keeping up at all, but I'll show you the progress in a minute. But let's talk about this is from Area 51. I got a 50 gram because socks for me, I don't like really tall socks, so this is sufficient for me. Once I add heel toes and cuffs, it's more than enough for a pair of socks, but it's also perfect for a pair of mitts. So, when you're making socks, there's tons of tutorials on cutting in your heels and your toes. The hardest part for me was figuring out how far to measure my foot. And Chevis of Chevy Row Stuff, she actually has a cheat kind of thing that you can download that's just brilliant. And I think it's on Ravelry, but I'll try. Well, I'm not. Go to Chevis's website or podcast and look it up, or maybe I'll message her and see. I know. I will try and find it, and then I'll tell you where to find it tomorrow, because I don't have my computer anymore. It came up to a blue screen of death, and I did some troubleshooting of my own, and basically the operating system is fully corrupted, and the only way to restore it would be to get a copy of Windows and reinstall it from scratch. The restore from a previous version doesn't work because the registry is completely corrupted. It won't load. It has no registry from which to load. So I don't have a computer anymore. And so for me to go in and do notes, I have to do it on my phone. I'm trying to figure out how to do it on a tablet, but tablet or phone for me it's same. I have to use my fingers to type. I can't use a keyboard. I'm not a texter. It's just not my skill set. And I know I'm showing my age, but I really prefer a keyboard. So, anyway, but she has a really, really great thing that helps you figure out where to put the toe in the heel, and so that they fit you correctly. And then I also have a sock ruler, and I would pull it out, but I don't know where I put it, because I organize things, and then when I organize them, I don't know where I organize them to be. Story of my life. This is one of the tubes that Aquila cranked for me. So thank you again, Aquila. I just can't even thank you enough. If you have the opportunity and you know who Aquila is, Lefty Knitter Podcast, please go over, share some love, go to her Instagram. I remember losing my dad in '96 as though it was yesterday. And I think it was a good week before I felt I was even breathing right, or that I was aware that I was actually breathing. Yeah, just, I love you so much, Aquila, and John, and Hayes, and I'm so sorry, but John's older daughter, I don't know her as well, because I don't get to see her so much, but that family means a lot to me. They're not my own, but I love them as though they were. Anyway, so yeah, go spread some joy if you can. So my sweater, I went back and did the neckband. I know you were supposed to cast on and do your ribbing, but usually when I do that, the ribbing is either way too loose or way too tight. So I like being able to knit down far enough to be able to do a decent gauge. And then once I do a gauge swatch in the stockinette, then I can see what my stitch counts are, see what my gauge is in the needles I'm using, and then come back up and decrease the way I want for this number of stitches I want. Because like this sweater, originally the neck was up here, and it just stretches so much, and this is barely within my tolerance. I much prefer it to be way higher up on my shoulders. I don't like when my bra straps show, and I definitely don't like trying to move my bra straps over to my arm side so that they're barely there but they're not showing. I know, it's my age. People nowadays, my daughter, the number of times she's gone out in public with her bra showing since she was a teenager, it's just, I don't know that she does it anymore, but it was normal, and it's just not normal for me. It feels really weird. So anyway, my neckband is done, and I finished the green that we were working with, and I just dropped a stitch, so hold on while I dropped it. I didn't just drop it one row, I dropped it like 4 rows, so bear with me while we pick this up. Alright. And I picked it up with the new yarn instead of the original yarn. That was just brilliant. Hold on. Okay, so now that we're secure, I have, this is my beginning around. I am doing short rows at the moment, and we'll talk about that a little bit so I can explain that process for you too. Anyway, I have finished this color and I'm now on this color, so we're working through that, but I'm doing short rows, and I wanted to talk about how I separate my sweaters if I'm if it's a inner, if it's a circular yoke sweater and I try it on and it is coming over my shoulders sufficiently, I mark my sleeves at that point. I put a stitch marker here and then I take it off and I lay it flat, find the beginning of the round, and I then put stitch markers on the other side. Now those are just rough markers. So then I measure the stitch counts in all 4 quadrants, and then I shuffle the stitches so that I have, and I'll just give it to you because that's what this is right now. For the number of stitches I have 100 stitches in the back. Or, yeah, I have 100 stitches in the back. I have 100 stitches in the front. I have 50 stitches on either sleeve. So if you add 50 plus 50, that gives you 100. So the sleeves are 1/3, technically 1/6, 1/6, 1/3, and 1/3. And for my body, that math always works. It always works. Then once I divided the sleeves and got the stitch markers where I wanted, so I have 1/3, 1/3, and then 1/6 and 1/6. Then I take my gauge and I do the math to say, okay, are those number of inches sufficient? And if not, then I go back to the pattern to see if there's another increase for my size, and then I follow those instructions for that increase. If there's not, then I figure out how many inches I need to add, and then determine how many stitches I need for those inches, and then I do my increases that way. Or if I am short enough, meaning I have this much more to add before I want to split for sleeves, and that's going to give me, just hypothetically, say I need 10 more rows before I'm going to split for sleeves, and I've determined that I need, and I'm just going to do easy math, so there's 10 more rows, and I'm doing 8, if I do raglan, I'll be doing 8 stitches around, and I figured out that I need 40 more stitches, and if I do 40 more stitches, I'm perfect. Then instead of doing a circular yoke increase, I'll go ahead and once I have the fabric out where I want, I'll do a raglan, which is how the ranunculus is created. So it was a circular yoke until you get to a certain point, and then raglan increases are added for the sizes that need that raglan increase. So maybe for all the sizes, but that's how it's constructed. So I will do that from time to time. So if you find, because you don't want your sweater to be super oversized, well, maybe you do, maybe you want it to be 10 inches of extra positive ease. This pattern that I'm making is designed to have 10 inches of positive ease. I tend to do a pattern size that will fit me with 4 to 6 inches of positive ease max, because I'm already a big girl and I don't need to add 10 more inches to how large I look. I just don't. But I don't want it to be form-fitting either. So there's that. So today I did my math. I figured out what I need. But because I realized that when I tried it on that the back is significantly higher on my body, meaning it's up here and my body is down here, I know that I need some extra rows. And so what I do is my beginning of the round is here in the back. So dead center of the back is my beginning round. So I come and I work around to the just before the sleeve ends, the very last stitch of this sleeve. And that stitch I do a lifted short row. So I go into that last stitch, do a lifted increase, but it's not really an increase, but pretend it's a lifted increase. And then I knit all the way back around to this sleeve and do one stitch before the marker and do a lifted to go back the other way. And then I come back over here and do 5 stitches ahead of typically, but because my gauge is a little bigger on here, I might do 4, but I usually do 5 stitches before, and then I come back the other way and I do 5 stitches before here. It depends on my row gauge as to how many short rows I'm gonna do. Because my row gauge on here is probably 5 rows to the inch, maybe 6 rows max, I don't want to do a ton of short rows because I don't want that to be, I don't want this sleeve to be sufficiently lower than, but I do want it enough. So I'll probably look at it, measure it, see how it lands, how it wears, and then, but I'm definitely going to come over here twice and here twice, which is 4 extra rows. So a row each direction, and see how that looks. And then I'll do 1 row to resolve, and I will probably do, given where I'm at right now, I'm probably going to end up doing raglan increases on here just until I get the fabric down where I want to split for sleeves, because I don't have enough increases. Otherwise I'll be like doing knit 20 and then make 1 and knit 20. I don't want to. That's raglan's easier, and I think it fits better because now I don't necessarily need the whole thing. I just want a little bit more here, so we'll see. Anyway, so that's my mods on my sweater that I'm doing, so that you know how it's being made. Again, I'll hold it up best I can. It is on short needles, so you can't really see how big it is, but that's where we're at right now. Anyway, and is there anything? I don't think there's anything else. This is way long. I'm so sorry. I hope you have a happy Vlogmas, and I'll talk to you later.